Good morning, 6A, 6B, 6G. It feels like almost like the first day of school. This is our first day for remote learning. We're going to be starting remote learning on April the 6th. That's upcoming. So if you made it this far, awesome. Good job. We're going to talk about four things today. We're going to talk about just general introduction, online versus remote learning, the platforms you're going to be using, and negotiation through the hub. So number one, we'll talk about the health of everyone right now. I'm glad to hear from the phone calls that I fielded to your parents that everyone is happy and safe and sound. And that is the most important thing right now is our health, whether it is our physical health or our mental health, that we're in the right situation, in the right frame of mind. So I'm glad everyone is healthy and safe. The second piece I want to talk about is what's online learning going to look like, or remote learning or education going forward. So there's a couple of phrases that are thrown out. One is called online learning and one is called remote learning. Remote learning is basically the learning forum that we're going to, or platform we're going to, starting April 6th. The premise is what happens is all students go to a central place, and what the teacher will be doing will be dropping messages, assignments, things to do, whether it's day-to-day activities, assignments. All of that situation will be from a remote platform that we all have access to. Online learning is a little bit different. Online learning is when you're actively engaged with the teacher at a specific time and with your fellow classmates. We're not at that stage yet. Reason being is, as a board, we had to make sure before we moved to a remote learning platform that A, everyone had access to technology, and B, that everyone had access to Wi-Fi. So from an equitable lens, we had to make sure that everyone is in the same playing field and they have access to online and remote learning. So obviously you are aware that your teachers from 6A, 6B, and 6G, at least talking with the grade sixes, were fielding calls and emails asking those questions. So that was the phase one. Phase two, now we're in that remote learning stage. The third thing I want to talk about is the platforms we're going to be using. So at least speaking for Mr. Bailey, Mr. Eckley, and myself, we are all using the hub as a central platform. And what the hub is, it is a meeting place where students and teachers can get together and basically meet and see what tasks you will be doing on a day-to-day basis. And those will be through all of your subjects. You'll have to learn how to negotiate through the hub, which I'll kind of help you with. And some of the other platforms we'll be using, which we're not there yet, but we will be in the future. MS Teams, Zooms, a lot of different features and programs that we know how to use, but we can't really use them right now because we don't have everyone online and they don't have access yet. So those will be upcoming. As right now, we're going to be using that platform of the hub. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And as you can see from the backdrop here, this in this part of my house, this is called the study, or this is my office. So you can see some of my books and Pikachu over there, and some of my hiking books and mountaineering stuff over there. So this is the backdrop that you have today. Unfortunately, my green screen is at school, so I'll be picking that up. I don't know. I think the week coming up, which I will be able to switch the background, which have really, really cool backdrops. I'm looking forward to that. The last thing I want to talk about is how to negotiate through the hub. So some of you have questions on, what am I going to be doing day to day? How do I access the hub? How do I find your class, Mr. Brooks, whether you're 6A, 6B, and 6G? So those are really good questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give you an overall view of the hub from just sharing my screen with you. My version of the hub is going to look different from yours, so just be aware of that when I'm going through this demonstration. So I'm just going to share the screen with you here, and now you should be able to see what I can see from this screen. So I'm going to go back to this home feature, which is this little home. When you sign on to the hub, you're going to be taken to like your student homepage, and you will be seeing a list of features. You'll be seeing your classes in this area, probably the My Courses, and they could be anything. It could be math, it could be gym, it could be French, language. For all intents and purposes, for this introductory video, you're looking for language, whether it's 6A, 6B, or 6G. So up here is an area that you can find your classes. Some of the features is called the nav bar. I'm not going to go into that for now, but once you're on this page, you can either access your classes down here or up through this waffle. When you press this little waffle icon, you get a list of some of your classes. This is what I see from my end as a teacher. So say if I were 6A, I would go to 6A, I would click on to that class, and it's going to take me to a web page called 6A. And so how do you know it's 6A? Well, you can see it from the banner here. It says homeroom and language arts. Again, if it was 6B or 6G, it's going to look different because the banner will say, I just went back to 6A again. The banner will say 6G or 6B. So make sure that you're in the right class. There's 6Gs and there's 6B. So those are the 3 language classes here. And as you can see, I'm going and toggling in through all 3 classes. Some of the things I want to address once you get to my webpage, so to speak, 2 areas below here I want to bring attention to. So again, what am I going to be doing every single day? What am I going to see it? Where am I going to see it? Well, there's 2 features I'm going to show you. So the first feature is this here, which is called the activity feed. The activity feed is an area where I'm going to post daily assignments on things you can do. It might just be a simple message where, like, I might say, hey, how are you feeling? Provide an adjective below. Or it could be an attachment with an activity that you have to do. So this is called the activity feed. This is the daily feed where you're going to see information here. And the second part I want to show you is this announcement feed. This announcement feed is going to show you a heads up area where you could see all the different things that you'll be doing. I'm kind of playing around with it right now, but it'll show you a weekly heads up on the daily activity tasks that you'll be doing. Now, it could be a read aloud, it could be independent reading, it could be a reading response, it could be grammar, it could be spelling, it could be a writing task, a simple one, it could be media literacy. So there's all different activities that you're going to see in that heads up. And that gives an organizational element of what will I be doing in language for the week so that you know. Now, bear in mind, I know there are some people that would want to do all of it in one day. Just make certain that language is not the only class. You have gym, you have French, you have math. So you're going to have to go to those classes on a day-to-day basis as well. So make sure that you are not doing all of the days in one day, that you are chunking your work. You're going to all those different classes and navigating through the hub and going to each one of your classes. Some of the other features here, not as important. This area down here with, it says carousel, this just has curriculum content. If you have extra time, you click on them and you can see different features or content. They're kind of interactive and kind of cool. It will open up a new window. I'll just show you. So if you're in grade 6, you can see the strands down here: language, math, social, science and technology, social studies, and French. And they have some various tasks here that you can see. There's Canada World Connections, and then you just click on to, some of the things, some of the informations it has. Up here is the virtual library. I know some of you have not been doing independent reading. Again, yes, libraries are closed, but not the virtual library. This is an area where you can actually get some virtual books and start doing some independent reading during the day. I know a lot of you have not been reading, some of you have, so congratulations, that's a good job. So again, those are the 2 areas really you have to focus on, is just the activity feed area and the announcement. So heads up for the week here, and then the daily activities there. And again, from the hub, yes, there's going to be definitely just getting through everything, finding where everything is. There's going to be that initial period of you're going to have anxiety finding where everything is. But again, we're going to be having pretty simple tasks, and then eventually they'll become more difficult. But there's so many cool options online right now. We could do whiteboard lessons. I'll show you. Let's see if I can draw a picture of a bunny here. I know my drawing is horrible, so this is, let's see if I can, okay. Not bad, kind of. Oh no. Okay. Maybe you guys can draw a better picture. I'm really trying here. Oh gosh. Oh, that's not too bad. These are supposed to be whiskers. So yeah, like you can easily do art and other things, Mr. Perniak, if he's your art teacher, you'd be able to do some of these things. I know for some of you that do celebrate Easter, that's coming up. Let's see if I can throw some Easter eggs here. There we go. There. All right. So yeah, that was horrible drawing. I bet you could probably do better than me. I was never good at art in school. So again, those are some of the introductory things. There's so many cool things upcoming. I know it's a lot to take in for every class, but congratulations. Welcome back. We're glad to have you. We miss you as a staff very much. If you have any questions, just feel free to email me. You know what my email address is. I'm rtbrooks@hwdsb.on.ca. And again, the first thing I want you to do, I do have a task in the activity feed, and that it's a very simple one. And just to make sure that I know that you have signed on, watched the introductory video, and you've done the first task. And that's going to allow me to know that you have access to Language Online. So again, we miss you very much. Glad you're safe, and good luck with your other classes. And hey, at least we're getting some cool forms and cool online learning during this time. And you guys are great with technology. So miss you a lot. Do the best you can, one day at a time, chunk your work. Anyway, see you guys later. And I'm sure you're going to see a lot of posts, hopefully with a different green screen background. All right. All right, guys, have a good day.